Have you ever wondered how you can turn this simple flat illustration into this super cool old school print illustration inspired by posters from previous decades? Today I'm going to show you what I've been making behind the scenes here in Procreate, which is a special collection of brushes and textures that will help elevate your work with a pass of dot patterns and stippling point brushes that can make any design feel more tactile, textural, and handmade. Also, if you stick around in this video, I'm going to show you how very quickly you can create your own organic stippling brush. My name is Leo and you're watching Ghost Paper, so now let's get to it. Alright, so taking inspiration from the old school graphic design print work that has been done in the past, the idea behind this brush pack is to elevate any flat style design that you may have by either adding interesting dot patterns over the shadow sections of an illustration, for example, or even using stippling brushes that can help you draw these shadow areas with pointilism techniques. Therefore, I've created a brush library that can be divided into 3 parts, which we will cover each with a different illustration example. All the information for this brush pack is available at the first link in the description box of this video. So the first example here is all about pattern brushes. Here we have a fairly flat illustration of a computer against a flat background as well. How can we make this a bit more interesting and perhaps even handmade instead of an illustration just straight out of the computer screen? First, let's play with the concept of using our pattern brushes as the shadow layers of our illustration. There are 2 types of patterns in this brush set: the perfect dot grid ones and the stylized ones, both coming with the same amount of densities, starting from a dense, populated grid all the way to a light one. For this example, we're going to be using the stylized medium brush. First, choosing the brush and the right color swatch, we are going to just paint the area that we want to cover. Then, using a monoline brush as an eraser tool, we're going to just remove the pattern from any unwanted areas of our illustration. The brush takes care of the seamless pattern aspect, so when you're painting, you don't have to worry about getting all done with one single brush stroke. You can always come back and paint any empty areas, and they will blend seamlessly. Next, let's add some noise grain to this composition in order to add that fine textural layer that binds it all together as a print poster. In this pack, I am also providing 6 different grain textures with different intensities in both positive and negative versions. So you can just open the grain Procreate file, copy the desired layer, go back into your working file and paste that grain layer at the top of your layer stack. Use the transform tool to scale up or down in order to completely fill up your canvas. Here I will also recommend using the overlay blending mode for the grain layer, as it creates 2 very distinct results depending on the choice between using a positive or negative grain texture. On the positive one, the colors tend to look more desaturated and washed up once you change the layer as to an overlay blend mode. And that is due to the predominance of white values in the texture file. On the negative one, the colors will become more saturated and juiced up, and that is due to the black values being more intense on the negative texture file. Now that we have our pattern and our grain selected, it's time for one last magic trick. Let's select our base layer, the one that holds all the different color fills, and let's head up to the adjustments menu and select halftone. Applying it as a layer, let's choose screen print at the bottom and an intensity of about 15 to 20%. This will help to enhance the print poster quality even further and really blend with all the textures and noise grain that we have applied. So in less than 10 minutes, we have transformed our illustration from something completely flat into something awesome. Just before we continue with the video, guys, I just want you all to know that I have a Patreon community where you can learn from monthly extended tutorial videos, which includes all the Procreate files used, all the brushes, all the color palettes, and any extra references that were also used on these tutorials. By being a patron, you'll be able to download all of the exercise files, plus bonus content such as my top 20 plus brush pack, my top 10 plus color palettes, mobile wallpapers to dress up your phone, and more. So make sure to check the link in the description box of this video, start learning from slower extended tutorial videos, and expand your skills in Procreate. So now, let's go back to the video. Here in the next example, let's take a look at the stippling brushes. This brush pack comes with 4 stippling brushes, ranging from small to big, perfect dot to stylized dot. In order to make things easier here as well, I've made the brush in a way that it already has a certain spacing and leaves a trail of dots as it goes. So basically you can just draw lines of dots, establishing the areas of shadow, and continuously draw these lines as they fill up the area with dots. This saves a tremendous amount of time of placing each dot per time, and you can always go back more carefully at the end of each section, having literally drawn most of the dots as lines. You can also use the brush size slider to tweak the dot unit size and make finer grain pointillism illustrations, or go for bigger grain pointillism artwork. It's really all about how you see them working better in your illustration. Lastly, we can also apply some noise grain layers in order to make the illustration feel a bit more textural. The very last brush in this brush pack is a bonus fine line brush, something that goes along really well with pattern dots and the stippling brushes that we have here. So just feel free to use that as the outline of your artwork, or even use it as a stippling brush as well. Now, if you have stayed this long in this video, I'm going to quickly show you how you can make your own stippling brush. First, let's go back into the gallery section of Procreate and create a new file, a new canvas of 1024 by 1024 pixels. Fill in the very first layer with a pure black color, then draw a white circle at the center of the screen. Fill in with white, and then use the liquefy effect to create whatever distortions you may want on your stippling dot texture. Next, let's head up to the Actions menu, tap Share, then tap PNG, and then Copy. Now back into an empty file in Procreate, let's head over to the Brush Library panel, then tap on the plus sign to create a new brush. Now here in Brush Studio, let's first tap on the Shape tab, then tap on Edit, then Import, and then hit Paste, and hit OK to confirm our new shape as the source in this brush. Set the rotation slider to 75%, and now in the first tab, Spacing, let's set the spacing to max. Tap Done, and that is it. You have created your very first basic stippling brush with automatic distance between the points, so it helps you to draw lines of dots instead of going dot by dot from beginning to end with manual tapping on the screen. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, a like would be super appreciated, as well as make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you always get more content delivered to you that will make you a better illustrator every single day. Now on the right side of the screen, there's always more content for you guys to watch. One is my latest upload, and the other one is a video that YouTube is recommending you to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.